Looks grand. Give it a sec. I'm gonna edit this part out, but don't want to start it too quickly. Ow! Shit! I just smacked the camera and myself. Okay. It's not just don't touch. Check the lens real quick. Make sure I don't fuck it up. No, I think I just smacked this part. Okay. Let's do it. Hello, everyone. I am Star, and welcome to Star's Moto Vlogs. So, first and foremost, today we have the Papio, the CFMoto Papio. I just bought this bad boy. If you're wondering, by the way, why the title of this video is Third Impressions, it's because I've ridden this twice now. I've ridden it once from the dealership, and I rode it yesterday as like a first impressions video, but it turns out that I freaking, well, there was like this huge smudge on the lens of the camera that I didn't notice, and I didn't like it. So I'm here again, riding it for the third time. I rode it for about like 40-ish minutes yesterday, so we're gonna ride again, probably like less than that, maybe 30 minutes, because I don't really have a lot to say about it, but I do want to talk about this bike and kind of what I have in mind for it and what I think about it. As for, you know, this is only like, let's check, like a couple. There's only 30-something, 40 miles now. Yeah, having about 50 miles on it. I haven't even filled it up yet. But anyways, we're gonna take a little ride on some back roads. We're just gonna do like a loop. We're gonna go over there, that way, this way, that way, up, down, left, right, and then we'll be back here pretty much to end it out, is what I'm thinking. So let's go ahead and hop on it, and I will let you know how I feel about the CFMoto Papio. So, first things first, let's go ahead and get it started. It does not have a kickstart. I'll call it the kickstart kill switch, because that's what the other bikes I've owned had. Whereas basically, if the kickstand is still down, whenever you go to start the bike, it just won't start it. And like all of my other bikes have had it, this bike does not. So, quick little rundown of the Papio, designated as El Papi. It is a 126cc single cylinder engine that is running about 9 horsepower and about 4 foot-pounds of torque. And don't worry, my fact checker, the editor in chief for all of my videos, will let you know if I'm right or wrong. And I'm sure that they will. Let's see what else. I don't know the seat height. I keep forgetting it every time I come out here to record a video. I forget what the gosh dang seat height is, but I'm pretty sure it's low. It's got this cool LCD display here. I like that. It's like, kind of shows you everything I really want to see, like the fuel gauge, RPMs, gear indicator, and a clock. I can't really think if there's anything else that I really need. I mean, I've got my phone for, you know, navigation and such, but I mean, that's whatever. These mirrors are they're okay, I guess. Not really that great for in my opinion, but I don't think any stock mirrors are really that great. So I always replace those, so that's not really a thing I care about. LED lights on the front and rear, so that's cool. This is the first bike I have owned with LED lights. And I've had a couple bikes now. I've had the Honda Rebel 300 and the 500. I've had a Yamaha Virago, a 250, and I had a Kawasaki Vulcan S. Oh, and I also had a Harley Davidson Iron 883. It was a 2006 model. I missed that bike, but this is about the Papio. This is about a Papi. So, trying to think of other specs. If there's any other specs I'm missing, like the weight, I believe is 241 pounds. And I think anything else that I think is really worth noting, other than maybe the 1.9 gallon fuel tank, all which I think come standard on a bike of this size. Now, what do I think of it? You know, what is my impressions of this mini bike? Now, I will note, I have never ridden a mini bike before other than this one. So take that, you know, information however you will. I cannot compare it to the Grom or the Monkey or the 125 because, or the Trail 125, because I've never ridden them. I assume they ride similarly, but I wouldn't know. So I like it though. I enjoy this bike a lot. And I kind of only had like one question really, is like, would you be okay with using this bike as your only bike, right? As your commuter, you know, traveler, you know, tourer? Because I know that you can do it, right? Like, this bike is capable of doing all of those things, but you know, are you the person that would want to? And that's where kind of my impressions come from, because that's where my mindset was when I was purchasing this motorcycle. I was thinking to myself, what am I going to use this for, and what can I use this for? You know? So here we are. I'd say I'd use this for a lot of city riding, but where I live is not much of a city here, to be honest. There ain't much here at all. So while I could use it to ride around town, I still have to take a back road to get to the next town, and then sit on the side streets, or just take, you know, neighborhoods to get to the town after that. And that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. I actually kind of prefer that way, as opposed to riding just on the highway, because I feel like the highway is just miserable. But the Papio can do those things, as we're going to see. We're going to take some back roads and really explore kind of the drawbacks and the cons of this bike, which I would say the cons is definitely the accessibility of the bike. I mean, it's like really small, and so like super lightweight, so you can just like throw it around, you know. It's easy to learn things on this bike. I think this is definitely like a nice learner bike if I wanted to learn how to do, you know, a multitude of maneuvers. Or hello puppies, hello, hello. If I just wanted to learn like maneuvers, brake. Keep in mind that whenever I am talking about maneuvers and stuff, that weight does affect. So no matter how much you learn on a smaller motorcycle, you should definitely utilize those skill training exercises on your bigger bikes too. Okay, that's it. Editor's out. Peace. Stopping, riding in traffic, you know. Because I feel more confident on this bike than I did any of the cruisers that I've owned. And I think it's mainly because of the seating position rather than like the engine or the bike itself. But I mean, speaking of this bike, I mean, like I said, super easy to ride. I think all of the mini bikes are. And I enjoy it a lot. I really do. I think this is like ridiculously fun. My 300, I didn't like. I enjoyed riding it, but because it was so, you know, it had like 20 horsepower, so I was like, it's slow. It's supposed to cruise. I mean, whatever. But this is just so like flickable, and like you just like throw this around in corners and like really run it through its gears. So it makes it more fun because it feels more like a toy, whereas like the 300, like full-sized motorcycles, I would call them, feel more like, they don't feel like they feel like motorcycles, but limited. So again, my idea was to get on this bike to really just kind of ride it, you know, like to see what it was like to ride a mini bike and if I would like it. Because so far, a lot of the cruisers I've been riding have kind of bored me. And this was like the only bike that I say, this motorcycle not, you know, being such a big motorcycle, and even though it's air cooled, it doesn't get hot at all, so it feels great, you know, riding it for like an hour. I will say my butt on this seat. I'm not wearing motorcycle specific pants. You should. I just haven't really found any that I liked. But you should definitely wear motorcycle specific pants if you're gonna ride. But I will say, because of that, my butt hurts after like an hour. And again, I would blame that on me not having motorcycle specific pants, you know. I think that's all that is. I think that's the complete reason. But because the seat is so thick, it's nice and thick, at least for me, so it actually is really comfortable. But yeah, so I think that might be what it is, but I could be wrong. And I am gonna put on, I'm gonna wear some motorcycle specific pants, and I will test this seat out again, and I will let you know if it makes a difference. My theory is that it would. That's what I'm going off of, but we'll see. Let's see, what else can I think of about this bike? Transmission actually feels pretty good as compared to some of the other bikes I've had. It actually feels like I actually kind of feel it when I can feel the shifter, and I'm wearing motorcycle specific boots, and like, yeah, man, I like it. It's a 6-speed gearbox, so like, you know, I get to run through 6 speeds of gear, or six gears of speed. Man, wow, words are hard. Anyways, I get to run through the gears, and that's fun. I like that. I'm gonna actually sit back a little bit. It just means that, at least to me, the bike, I guess it feels a lot smoother. Doesn't feel like I'm really hammering out like on the RPMs too much because of it. And it might just be because, you know, it's a 126, so maybe I just feel that way. Simply because, I don't know, the other bikes I've ridden felt a bit more buzzy, like the Rebel 300 and 500. 500 doesn't feel as buzzy, of course, but, I mean, like, the buzz in this isn't too bad. If I had thicker grips, I don't think it would be that bad. But, I mean, you're going to get it. Like, you're going to get buzz because it's a 126. You're going to feel, you know, vibration because it's a motorcycle. I mean, those things don't really bother me. But I always take note of it. Because it used to bother me. I used to really hate it. But it doesn't bother me as much anymore. I kind of just ignore it. It just kind of comes with the territory of motorcycles, in my opinion. So we're going to get up to 60 miles an hour here, down this road. Alright, we're going to try to hit 60. Gotta be careful, watch out for deer here. Really gonna pull her in. We're in 6th gear. Yeah, she can do it. Yeah, as you can see, she can do 60. I say she, it's a he. It's just a force of habit, honestly. But yeah, we can do 60 downhill, especially. Yeah, we'll hit 65. Got this car behind me giving me a nice distance. I appreciate that because I need it. Take note here to show you that, like, I'm not trying to push the bike too hard, so I'm not opening the throttle wide open. I'm just kind of easing it in. That's why I'm not, you know, really going that fast. But, you know, if you obviously open the throttle wide open, it would go much faster. Yeah. Editor out again. Hills are my enemy, man. Go! Go, puppy! Go, puppy, go! Woo! Suspension, that's another thing. Not too bad, in my opinion. Again, I've ridden bikes that didn't really have the best suspension, so it's hard for me to tell what good suspension is because I haven't experienced it yet, I believe. But I think this is pretty good, you know. Yeah, you do feel the bumps, and yeah, it does bounce you up. But again, I mean, you expect it on this motorcycle, but it doesn't bother me. Oh, I can slow down. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Texas back roads, for not consistently staying 60 miles per hour. I say that knowing that most of the roads are, in fact, 60 miles per hour. Sitting position wise, I am 5'6", I think, or 5'7", possibly 5'5". I don't know. Editor, tell me how tall I am. You can do it. Figure it out. So I'm like, you know, however, I'm like this tall. So I'm kind of like almost perfect height in my opinion. Like my elbows are like, you know, bent down. It's like kind of like I'm sitting at a computer desk and I'm like typing on my computer. That's kind of how I feel. I'm like sitting in like a chair almost, because it's so, you know, short. Doesn't feel like I'm really sitting up too high. But I do love this style of like naked bikes. I like sitting, you know, up on the bike and just kind of like with my legs kind of stretched down. I do not like forward controls. I don't even really like Schmids, to be honest. Now that I've ridden this, I kind of prefer like naked bikes. Come on, no, get out of here, good girl. Hey, get your kid. I'm a parent too. I get it. They just kind of get out of your hands, get in the way. It happens. Anything I don't cover on my first impressions or my rides will be covered in like a editor. My editor will cover it. I'm relying heavily on that on them right there. I'm relying on my editor to really carry the weight of this channel and these videos, as I'm sure everybody else does too. But what I wanted to get into really is stuff like this. What I'm doing is really where I think this bike really shines. It's just like, well, I say shines for me because I don't live in Dallas or Houston or Austin, where there's just like, you know, a bunch of stuff, you know, a big old city to explore. All the roads are 30 miles an hour. Streets are packed with like, you know, bumper to bumper traffic, or just even just like small streets, you know, where maneuverability matters a lot. Nah, man, I live out here where there's nothing. Honestly, there's not much to say about it. Again, these are just like, you know, initial impressions after buying the bike. This is my third impressions because I can't seem to record this video for some reason. I don't know why. Moto vlogging. It just happens. It happens, you know. I think it's just a thing. I'll get used to it. I'll get better at it eventually and become more normal. But in all honesty, I mean, that's it. That's really all I have for this video. That's just kind of my thought process on how I feel about it. It's cool. It works. I just kind of, you know, it's just kind of whatever, you know. It's just kind of its own little thing in its own little area. I think this is a great second bike, or what I would call a partner bike. You know, like, I mean, that is what everybody says. This is the bike you get to do short errands or quick runs, or, you know. But the question still remains, this be the only bike you own? And we're gonna find out. definitely stay tuned. Subscribe if you want to see where I go with this and what I do to it. Go ahead and like the video if you did. Don't like it if you didn't. And I will catch you all on the next one. Unless I have something else to say. I don't know, maybe my editor will slip it in there somewhere. I love you, editor. Go up the hill, go, go, go! Go, Papio, go! Go, there's a car coming! I don't have any music to play, so deal with it.